EBI 5 is the deepest, darkest bracket in EBI history. We got 16 of the best black belts we can find, including Eddie Cummings, the leg lock destroyer.
Dark arts, foot locks.
He's done. Wow. Quick work by Eddie Cummings.
Javi Vasquez at 55 with a training camp.
I'd like to do one, but I'd like to have a chance to actually be able to train for it and be in my weight class.
Javi Vasquez did EBI 3 on same-day notice, and he's at 170 pounds.
Somebody had pulled out of EBI 3, and now they were kind of scrambling to get somebody last minute, and I'm like, I'll do it. Not that big of a jump. I mean, even if it was 185, I would have done it because I just don't care necessarily how big most guys are. So basically went home, got my gear, and then just went to LA. I mean, literally like 2 hours. I hadn't even rolled in 2 weeks. I was busy doing stuff for the academy, building out the academy and doing stuff. So I literally hadn't sparred in like 2 weeks.
Javi Vasquez stepping up on short notice. Javi Vasquez, a UFC veteran. Javi is really comfortable in all aspects of jiu-jitsu. Javi's knees are shredded.
The return of Nathan Orchard.
Fighting out of 10th Planet Portland, Nathan Orchard.
The last time we did 155, the lightweights, he ended up in the finals with Denny Prokopos. Denny went on to win in triple overtime, but Nathan Orchard is on fire right now. He's the best he's ever been. His leg lock game is at an all-time high.
I have more experience than I ever have. This is my 4th EBI, so I know what it's all about. You know, I'm a lot more seasoned now, and I just feel like it's my time. To be honest, I'm happy to compete against anyone in this tournament, only because I respect everyone that's in this tournament so much. To beat anyone would be a great honor. Whoever I match up against, I just know it's gonna be exciting. Doesn't matter who. I'm known pretty well for Eddie named it after me, the Dead Orchard. It's like a double arm triangle arm bar, if you will. I hit my first one in competition in 2012, and been polishing it ever since then.
We got Hani Yahya, Abu Dhabi ADCC gold medalist.
I represent Brazil and Constrictor team, and my jiu-jitsu specialty are the chokes. I've been competing for many years and have hard training for many years in the high level, and I think I'm the best fighter there.
He's definitely one of the best 55ers on the planet.
I'm ready to everybody, and I'm pretty confident I'm gonna beat everybody there because I feel great. I feel in a great moment now.
We also got the returning champion, Denny Prokopos. He could easily win this whole thing.
I've been training for 14 and a half years now. Received my black belt in 2009. First black belt actually in the 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu system under Eddie Bravo. I've been training for a long time, so I've had a lot of things to develop. Definitely my rubber guard, my twister. If I can find the neck, I can choke it. EBI 2, my very first match, I ended up passing, attempting a Kimura, but going for an armbar, and then taking the back and finishing with the rear naked choke. My second match at EBI, again, I passed the guard with a twister pass, and then after that, I set up the twister roll. I went to the truck and I finished with a twister. My third match was a battle with Russ Mira. There was a good amount of time that he spent being in my closed guard and being in my rubber guard. Towards the end, he passes. I recover, and then we went into overtime. He starts off first in the spider web position with a deep hook, and then I managed to escape. My first opportunity at his back, I took his back and I choked him with the rear naked. In the finals, I faced teammate and friend Nathan Orchard. We had a really tough match. He threw a lot of great leg locks at me, and he got me in a dead orchard at one time. I was fortunate enough to be able to escape, and then we kept going. We went to double overtime, and when we went to double overtime, both of us took the back, and I was able to escape the quickest. The most important thing to me is to be the champion. I want to finish everybody.
We got Rafael Domingos, who's a Damian Maia prodigy.
EBI give you more opportunity to think about what you want, you know, like for finish, for how you want to win the fight. Strategy, so everything very important, for EBI. Feel the fight, then you know what they give. Because I know sometimes it's nice to have a strategy, but it's so hard to believe what you want, so it's better you wait somebody give it to you, then you can do whatever you want. I feel every day I have evolution.
He was in EBI 2, reffing his first match. I didn't know too much about Rafael Domingos. I thought to myself, I was looking down at him going, man, this guy could win the whole thing. I could just see some serious jiu-jitsu right there.
I think I fight really well. I fight really good. The guys play in the game, so it's very hard. So you have to be smart, I think I fight really well, and EBI everyone a lot, and now they give you another opportunity just because they know. I be ready.
He ended up winning his first match and losing to Barrett Yoshida in overtime.
The whole fight, I fight really well. I feel great. But then after the time is over, we start the positions. Then I start his back. I almost take the naked choke, but didn't work so much. Then I lose. Then his turn, then he make me tap. Now I try to finish everyone before. This is like animals. Everybody born already how to fight.
Also, another favorite, we got Ruben Alvarez, who's a leg lock assassin. Kim Terra, who can also take this whole thing. He's the brother of Caio Terra, who's a 10-time world champion. And Kim Terra's right there training with his brother, his whole life. And he could easily take this whole thing, We got guys that, on paper, aren't the favorites. We got guys like Chito Vieira, Dan Covell, who's a black belt from Marcelo Garcia. We got Georgie Caracanyan, who's a black belt from Millennia, who very, very strong. Jonathan Ortega from Chile, he's in the UFC. We got Lachlan Giles, who's from Australia. He's a new Australian star, rising.
I got my black belt 3 years ago from John Simon. I won the Pan Pacific Championships as black belt no-gi in 2014 and in 2015, and the openweight no-gi 2014 and 2015. And Pan Pacific Championships is the biggest competition in Australia. The Abu Dhabi Pro Trials through Australia. About 1 year ago, I opened up this gym, Absolute Mixed Martial Arts in South Yarra, Melbourne, Australia. Train here twice a day. So every day we have a bunch of good guys coming from all over Melbourne and even from interstate. So pretty much we get visitors from all around Australia coming here to give us some of the best training you can get.
Lucas Brown from Paragon, who comes from the same school that Jeff Glover, Bill Cooper, Tyrone Glover, a lot of talent coming from Paragon and Frangina. He's got some special little system that he's got for these guys because one guy could be a fluke, two guys could still be a fluke, but Frangine is putting out incredible jiu-jitsu athletes. We also got Steven Martinez, who replaced Edwin Najmi, who is a BJJ superstar currently. But Steven Martinez comes in and replaces him, and he goes against Eddie Cummings. And on paper, he looks very much like an underdog, but make no mistake about it, Steven Martinez, an EBI veteran, he's better than he's ever been. He's on a high, training harder than he's ever been. This is definitely the deepest EBI bracket so far. It's getting deeper and harder and darker.
The division is filled with nothing but killers.
And the level's just increasing every tournament. This all black belt bracket, I think, really demonstrates that. These tournaments are becoming more and more serious and are becoming the premier sub-only tournament. I think EBI is really, really good at finding guys who maybe aren't as well known, but are certainly very, very competent submission grapplers.
16 black belts fighting for 20 Gs. It's insane. I mean, it's the highest level competition I've had the chance to be a part of. Even ADCC sometimes has some brown belts, even purple belts in there. So to be in a tournament with all black belts, I mean, geez, that's the kind of tournament you want to win. That's the kind of tournament I want to be a part of.
Jiu-jitsu is like animals, like a lion, like many animals.
It shows that it's a high-level competition. You know, at the end of things, the belt doesn't mean anything. What means something is the fighter.
Much more nice when you have black belts, only black belts. Anybody can win, man. You don't know, maybe you'll take somebody from the street and the guy is very good. And then you wanna like use your jiu-jitsu and maybe no work because the guy is natural. It's natural jiu-jitsu, you know. Some people's have, you never know, you know. You never know.
The division is just stacked. Everybody's gonna be a challenge and I respect everybody and I've researched everybody. But at the same time, I totally believe that I can beat anybody. I believe in my game, I believe in my jiu-jitsu.
I think most grapplers in this tournament really, maybe not advancing the art, but they want to display their talent. That they want to beat other good grapplers. I don't think you get into this sport or art if you don't just want to compete against top-level guys.
There's several guys in this tournament that I've been wanting to compete against, and I get to do it basically all in one night. Eddie's the best guy right now. Eddie's the guy that's been lighting everyone on fire. Another guy that I've been wanting to compete against for years is Rani Yahya. So if I can get a hold of Rani in the same night, that would be great. And I know he's good. I just think I'm better. So we'll see how that goes. I have a lot of respect for him, but I think he's gonna lose.
I've been involved in producing jiu-jitsu shows for almost 10 years now. And what really makes EBI interesting is that you're almost guaranteed a submission in every single match. There's nobody on the planet that says they don't want to see submissions. Everybody wants to see it. But the creativity of Eddie Bravo is how he forced a submission in almost every match. It's super exciting.
EBI differs from the point tournaments simply by making it all about the submission, all about the best part of jiu-jitsu.
That's a textbook rear naked choke right there. 2 hooks in.
There are lots of jiu-jitsu events throughout the year, but people are always so excited about EBI. I get tons of feedback of people asking when is the next one, who's going to be on the next one, what are the weight classes. Eddie Bravo has a unique way of choosing the fighters that are going to be into it and making sure the matches are exciting. There are tons of great talent in EBI 5, but let's take a look at the left side of the bracket. On the left side, there are 2 names that really stand out for me. One is Eddie Cummings. He was the champ of EBI 4. He's got the best leg lock game in jiu-jitsu competition right now. Who can stop his heel hooks? And can anybody stop him from pulling them into his game? Eddie is so good at forcing guys to defend his heel hooks. And I haven't seen anybody defend it really well yet. Now, also on the left side of the bracket is Rani Yahya. Rani is he's an amazing ADCC legend. He lost to Leo Vieira and came back the following ADCC event to get his revenge and choke out Leo. Probably one of the most experienced grapplers in EBI 5, and I see him as a shoe-in for the left side of the bracket in the semifinals, probably against Eddie Cummings.
Very excited to compete against him if I get the opportunity.
I'm ready to everybody, and I'm pretty confident I'm gonna beat everybody there because I feel great. I feel in a great moment now.
I don't think Rani can stay safe, but I'm not saying Rani's gonna get submitted, but I don't see Eddie Cummings losing this match. It'll probably go to overtime, and then I'm gonna give it to Rani Yahya in overtime.
Rani Yahya is a mini Marcelo Garcia. No exaggeration. He's got the squeeze of Marcelo Garcia. If he ends up on your back, it's going to be very, very, very hard to shake him off. You know, Rani Yahya in overtime he, in my opinion, will probably have the strongest overtime record out of all the competitors.
We've seen a lot more of Rani's game. If we look back in ADCC history, we've seen he has a very well-rounded jiu-jitsu game. Eddie Cummings, in competition, we see him mainly sticking to his leg locks. So I think, given defense, Rani has the edge in overtime. Also on the left side of the bracket, we have Javi Vasquez, another EBI veteran, a well-known MMA guy, jiu-jitsu guy, black belt under Rodrigo Medeiros.
There's no pressure here on me. I don't think too many people expect me to win it. People who know me expect me to do very well, and I expect myself to do very well, but pressure's not on me. Pressure's on Eddie. He's the one that won the 145 division, and he's the one everyone's looking at. Rani's the one everyone's looking at. So I'm just kind of in the shadows, and I'm perfectly okay with that. I'm fine with that. The people who know, and the people that don't will.
Tons of great talent on the right side of the bracket as well. If I had to say who I expect to see in the semifinals, I have the reigning champion, Denny Prokopos.
Everybody's gonna be a challenge, and I respect everybody, and I've researched everybody. But at the same time, I totally believe that I can beat anybody. Come December 13th, I see the belt being strapped around my waist and my hands going up and me throwing up the 10 like that. This has always been my dream. I remember being a kid, being in my room, visualizing myself like competing at big events, and that I visualized like 12, 10 years ago, whatever, that jiu-jitsu would be in a stage like the Orpheum, and I saw myself being that champion. This represents me living my dream, me continuing it and me taking it to the next level. What's even more special is that it's EBI. I love Eddie. I'm Eddie's first black belt. When I fight, he's always the guy that's like, I'm thinking number one. I always want to make my instructor happy, you know? The amount of joy that he gives me just to be there, and right when I'm there, I'm fighting, and then right after I win, boom, he raises my hand. There's nothing like that. And then to be doing that and to be representing at the highest level for 10th Planet, and to have him in his tournament and me being the champion, I'm his first black belt. That's amazing. I couldn't be more grateful that this happened, and I am where I am, and that's my motivation.
What's most exciting for me at EBI 5 were the results of EBI 4. Eddie Cummings came in and just decimated the entire bracket. He won, I think his cumulative fight totals were over 4 rounds, 10 minutes and 15 seconds. I mean, that's unheard of. I tend to think that the guys are now aware that this is going to be his game. And they now have had an entire training camp to look at and review the tape. And so it'll be interesting to see who makes the adjustments and can they shut him down, because no one could last time.
Spent a lot of time over the last few months looking at Eddie Cummings footlocks. We do a video analysis class every Saturday, and we've done quite a few on that, just seeing how he sets up his moves and even how people are defending them well. So hopefully that's going to help me.
All I'm focusing on is offense for this. I mean, my leg lock offense is so good that I really don't need leg lock defense. So if Eddie Cummings drops on my legs, I'm going to catch him long before he catches me.
A lot of people regard Eddie Cummings as the favorite for EBI 5. But if you think about it, he rolled then at 145, and now he's going to be fighting guys at 155.
You would think on paper, wow, he's coming up to 55, he might have a disadvantage. But if you know the EBI history, back in EBI 3, he did the 170 division.
I was very excited the first time I got the invite to EBI 3. Gary Tonnen, my training partner, was very instrumental in that. I know I wasn't well known there, and I really appreciate Eddie Bravo and the organizers. They took a chance on me, but I think it was, you know, a good decision on their part.
Lost to Gary Tonnen, who eventually won the whole thing, but he did tap 2 people out at 170. And that one person was Enrico Coco, who's considered one of the best leg lockers on the planet. That's 2 weight divisions above the weight division that he won. So we got 155 right in the middle. So I really don't see 155 being hard for Eddie Cummings, and I don't think anybody's gonna be swayed to not pick him as one of the top favorites or the favorite.
There it was.
You gotta be on constant high alert, red alert. You gotta watch your feet. You gotta really watch your feet when you're going with Eddie Cummings. And you got Nathan Orchard, who competed at 170 and 155, and he had the most success at 155. Nathan Orchard was a little small at 170.
Nathan Orchard, I think, is the dark horse here. What I like about his jiu-jitsu is he's super creative, and you have to consider he's done the first 3 EBIs.
155 is definitely where my best, that's my fighting weight, really. You know, I walk around about 170, so to compete at 170, I'm a bit small. That's what EBI 3 was. And I was going against guys cutting down from 195, you know, and I'm a small 170 at that. So to be back at 155 really gives me a lot of confidence in size, length. I'm going to be bigger. Instead of me being the smaller guy, I should be one of the bigger guys.
I don't think you can look past this guy. Very creative, and at 155, he's going to be a force.
He's big, he's long and lanky. He's got an incredible rubber guard. He dead orchard Barrett Yoshida back at EBI 2 at 55.
Him coming up with that dead orchard, I've tried to do it a few times, I can't get it down.
First position in rubber guard, grab mission control, and I essentially squeeze their other arm up into a triangle, and I'm able to just choose whichever one I want to torque on many different ways. But essentially a triangle choke with both arms in.
It'll be very interesting to see Nathan Orchard and Eddie Cummings in the semifinals on the left side of the bracket.
Nice, and that's it.
The biggest difference between EBI and traditional point tournaments is that in point tournaments, the submission is not crucial. It's not that important. The best part, the sweetest part, the most exciting part is the submission.
I definitely feel that it adds more value to the tournament. I feel that right now in this current state, EBI is the most prestigious event. And the reason is because they put the match together that everybody wants to see under the submission-only format.
EBI differs from the point tournaments simply by making it all about the submission, all about the best part of jiu-jitsu.
EBI offers a platform for the sub-only grappler to really demonstrate their own skill and what the sub-only style is really like.
It's what jiu-jitsu should be, in my opinion. I mean, I'm a submission-only fighter, so I'm biased, but it's guys that want to go for the kill, guys that are all about the exciting matches and not necessarily the holding game. You know, I mean, it is a different style of jiu-jitsu, but to me, it's the most exciting. You know, back before I knew really what jiu-jitsu was, I thought jiu-jitsu was submissions. I didn't know jiu-jitsu was points. You know, that's what wrestling is to me. I do jiu-jitsu for the submission. So, you know, I think everyone in this tournament, in all the EBIs, that's what they're really focused on, and that's what makes it better than all other tournaments I've ever seen.
Currently, EBI rules are my favorite form of competitive rules, next to no time limit sub-only. Naturally, there's logistical problems with no time limit sub-only, and I think this is a very good compromise.
Just leaves a little bit more of a statement if you can finish everyone in regulation.
Just going out there and battling against the best, that's all I want to do, is go against the best, so I love it.
I've covered jiu-jitsu and MMA around the world, and what I love about EBI is the guys are so motivated. They get no show money, and they're so motivated to get submissions. You've never seen anything like that.
Plenty of motivation to do so, because they don't win any money if they're not able to submit the other person. And then the overtime rules also encourage submissions in that we start on each other's back.
The guys that are truly the best at finishing you once they get your back, those are the ones that are gonna excel in the EBI format. If you're not good at closing the show off someone's back, you're gonna fall apart in overtime. Overtime is designed to make sure that the best finisher ultimately will have the advantage.
It's a 16-man bracket. You would like to spend as little time on the mat leading into the finals to where at least you're giving yourself the best fighting chance to be able to have the best conditioning and not sustain any damage along the way. I mean, I'm trying to avoid those positions at all costs, 100%.
The better grapplers maybe need to prepare more for the rule set. You know, I feel there was some very skilled grapplers that lost in the past EBIs due to the overtime rules, and I don't think they prepared correctly for the overtime rules.
I know exactly what the strategy had to be. After doing the first one, I knew exactly where I was strong. I knew what, because I had done it before, I knew exactly how I had to train to condition my arms to be able to attack the back and defend the back without my arms catching on fire. I had 3 months to figure out how to make myself comfortable in the scenarios that the tournament requires.
Well, I'd say with the overtime rules, you know, starting in either back or spiderweb, you know, for the most part, it's just mastering your defense and escapes. So, you know, definitely spending a lot of time on defending the back, also attacking the back, defending spiderweb, attacking spiderweb. So, I mean, it puts more emphasis on those positions.
I love the format. I feel that submission only is the best format for my game. I feel very, very confident in my defense very confident in my offense, and I specifically love training for these rules.
It's new for Jiu-Jitsu. It is something that I really admire, and I really want to promote those kind of rules.
Talking to Eddie and seeing what his take was on it with the overtime rounds and why he was doing the 10-minute rounds and what his goal was, I understood because of the time limitations and he wanted to put it on TV. I understood why he did it the way he did it, but I was still like, I'm not into the rules. And then when I did it, it was a lot of fun. The format was a lot of fun, and it determines a winner in a very fun way.
Because I feel that it's more effective for Jiu-Jitsu. Is beneficial, looks for submission, more aggressive way. So I think it's something that I really like,
We're doing things a little different. No show money, no money for second place or third place. It's like a game show. We take all the money that we could afford and we give it to the one guy who wins it all.
Got a lot of guys who aren't, who are coming in have never made, even a tenth of that for a tournament, and so there's just a lot of motivation. And not only that, with the money has come prestige, because everyone in traditional jiu-jitsu tournaments in the traditional jiu-jitsu circles has become aware of, what happens when you win.
Winner take all, 16-man bracket, only the winner gets paid, $20,000 possible. He gets paid $5,000 per each match he wins in regulation. So if he wins 2 in regulation and 2 in overtime, he gets $10,000. If he wins all matches in regulation, like Eddie Cummings did in EBI 4, he gets a $20,000 check right there and then.
$20,000 for grappling is obviously game-changing. Hopefully this continues to make the sport go the way it's going and should go. But I try not to think too much about the money. I don't want the pressure to get in my head of a life-changing paycheck for me as a struggling jiu-jitsu artist. But of course it's motivation to train hard, but more than anything, I just love how it's helping the sport grow and hopefully become a little more mainstream.
At 155, this is the most amount of money any lightweight's ever made, $20,000. There's never been a 55-pound tournament where they've had an opportunity to make $20K in one night.
They can make money with jiu-jitsu. We just have to focus more on making it entertaining.
So here's exactly how I see this. 20 Gs is great. I like 20 Gs, but I'm more interested in being the champion. That being said, I want to finish everybody, and I want to win 20 Gs. But the most important thing to me is to be the champion. It's not about money. I don't do this for money.
Yeah, I know everyone always says the money doesn't matter, but the money doesn't matter. I don't really spend money on anything. It's more about the opportunity to compete against really talented grapplers on this kind of stage.
16-man super tournament with a lot of money for the winner take all. You get to see the matches unfold and you get to fall for the fighters and root for them and get to know them because you just saw them compete and you see it all unfold. My goal is to create a jiu-jitsu show that creates just as much excitement and entertainment value as a good MMA show. Just gonna keep raising the grand prize money until we get to $1 million. We're gonna keep building, not worry about making money, just worry about the winner making the money.
EBI 5 features 16 of the best black belt lightweights in the world. Don't miss the live event on BudoVideos.com/EBI5.